Good morning, students. Today we will start the liquid dosage forms in pharmaceutics too. So, before starting the chapter, uh, let us discuss about the objective of this chapter. So, on completion of this chapter, you will come to know about the following aspects, which are the what are the liquid dosage forms, uh, their usage, whether they are for internal use or for external use. Second one is why these dosage forms are so popular, what are various problems occurring in their formulation, and various types of dosage forms. Various types means various types of liquid dosage forms, their method of preparation, stability aspects, evaluation, and uses. So, if we look at the introduction, these liquid dosage forms are mostly preferred to children and infants who find difficulty in swallowing solid dosage forms. So, no doubt they lack in the stability parameter of the active drugs, and they are very much popular amongst the prescriptions of doctors in lieu of their acidic properties. So, the liquid dosage forms are prepared by dissolving active ingredients, and the ingredients are dissolved in a aqueous or non-aqueous solvent. So, does by the suspending the drug. So, if the drug is insoluble in pharmaceutically or therapeutic acceptable solvents, or by incorporating the drug into one of the two phases of an oil and water systems. So, they have number of advantages and disadvantages. So, advantages of liquid dosage forms: the drug is rapidly available for absorption, and they are the most suitable dosage forms for infants, children, geriatric, and for the mentally disturbed patients. So they are also suitable for those. Um, these are also suitable for those drugs which create irritation in GIT tract. So if they are given in the dry forms, example is bromides and iodides. So bromides and iodides, if they are given in dry forms, they can cause irritation in the GIT. So to avoid this, so these drugs are dissolved in aqueous solution, and they are given in the form of liquid dosage form. So in case of homogeneous solutions, they assure uniformity of dosage, and doses can easily be varied as per the requirement of the patients. So bitter and obnoxious drugs, they can be given in sweetened, colored and flavored vehicles. Hygroscopic and delicate medicaments which are not suitably dispensed in solid dosage forms, they can easily be given in liquid dosage forms. So because of their aesthetic properties, they create good appeal and beneficial psychological effect on patients. So what are the disadvantages of liquid dosage forms? Liquid dosage forms bulky and therefore inconvenient to carry, transport and store. So the stability of medicament in ecosystem is poorer than if they were formulated as solid dosage forms, particularly when the medicament is susceptible to hydrolysis. So two incompatible drugs cannot be given together, as it is possible in case of solid dosage forms. So there are chances of variation in the doses since patients use the measure at the time of taking dose. So sometimes they might be in hurry and do not bother the accuracy of the dose. So liquids provide suitable media for the growth of microorganisms and therefore require suitable preservatives. So next is they have pleasant taste. Sometimes they become hazardous amongst the children, so since there might be chances of overdoses. So in case of accidental breakage of the container, it may result in loss of the whole of the dosage form. So liquids cause dispersion, example is suspensions and emulsions. They require additional adjuncts like suspending agents, flocculating agents, viscosity increasing agents, emulsifying agents, etc. to maintain the stability of the product. So thus a pharmacist has to handle many ingredients at a time. So they acquire large volume for one dose can compare to solid dose forms. So this increase the cost of transportation of liquids for the same number of doses of the solid dosage forms. So the sweetened liquids which contain the sugar as a sweetening agents, they are not recommended for the diabetic patients. So sugar-free liquid dosage forms or sugar-free liquids they can be recommended to the diabetic patients. So what is the classification of liquid dosage forms? So the liquid dosage forms are broadly classified into two groups. First one is monophasic liquid dosage form and second one is biphasic liquid dosage form. So if we look at the classification of the monophasic liquid dosage forms, there are four types: for oral use, for external use, for special use, and for parenteral use. So the oral use monophasic liquid dosage form they can further classify into the simple mixtures and concentrates, syrups, elixirs, drops, linctus, tinctures, spirits, and routes. And for external use, they can be classified into the lotions, liniments, and collodions. And for special use, they can be classified into the gargles, mouthwashes, throat paints, nasal drops and sprays, Dutchess, enemas, eye drops, eye lotions, ear drops, inhalation, and aerosols. So now, second, if we look at the biphasic liquid dosage form, they can be of the two types: emulsions and suspensions. Emulsions are the liquid in liquid, and suspensions are the solid in liquid. And emulsions, on the basis of use or route of use, they are of for oral use, for external use, and for parenteral use. And suspensions for oral use, for external use, for ophthalmic use, and for parenteral use. So let us start with the monophasic liquid dosage forms. So as the word monophasic suggests that this system contains only one phase, no matter components might be minimum two or more than two. Henceforth, this can be defined as a homogeneous one-phase system consisting of two or more components. So one phase is a solvent and the other one is a solute. So solutes might be one or more than one. So in general, the solvent is present in the large quantity, but there are few exceptions like simple syrup IP, which contains 66.7% weight by weight of sucrose and 33.3% weight by weight water. So monophasic liquid dosage forms are the simplest form of presenting medication for rapid absorption of the drug. So they are dispensed for various purposes as shown in the above table, which is figure 5.2 in your book. So we look at a definition and brief count. So mixtures and concentrates. So they are dilute or concentrated monophasic preparations which are intended for oral administration, in which drug is dissolved in a suitable vehicle. So the most suitable vehicle for this form of dosage is water because of its lack of toxicity, physiological compatibility, and its ability to dissolve a wide range of materials. So purified water, which is IP, freshly boiled and cooled, is widely used instead of potable water to avoid any undesirable effects of ions often present in potable water. Generally, they are supplied in multi-dose airtight and light-resistant containers bearing proper labels. So the labels must contain informations like drug content, alcohol content if present in each 5 ml of dose, storage conditions, batch number, manufacturing license number, manufacturing date, expiry date, and name and address of the manufacturer. So the concentrates are required to be diluted before use. Include concentrated aromatic waters, which are diluted to produce aromatic water to be used as vehicles in liquid preparations. So the syrups, they are sweetened viscous concentrated solutions of sucrose or other sugars in water or any other suitable aqueous vehicles. So the syrups are further classified into two classes: simple flavored syrups and medicated syrups. So in case of simple flavored syrups, when syrups do not contain any medicament but contain some aromatic or pleasantly flavored substances, these syrups are used as a vehicle for other liquid preparations to mask the disagreeable taste of medicament. And for the medicated syrups, when syrups contain some medicinal substances along with the other additives. So simple flavored syrups are supplied in bulk volumes, while medicated syrups are supplied in small volumes and in airtight and light resistant bottles or other containers bearing proper labels. So label must contain all necessary information and discussed in mixtures. So third one is elixirs. So elixirs are the clear flavored sweetened hydroalcoholic liquid preparations for oral administration. So the percentage of alcohol varies from 4 to 40%. So they can be further classified into two classes. First one is non-medicated elixirs and second one is medicated elixirs. So in case of non-medicated elixirs, when elixirs do not contain any medicament but contain some aromatic or pleasantly flavored substances, so these elixirs are used as vehicles for other liquid preparations. Second one is medicated elixirs. So when elixirs contain some medicinal substances along with other additives. So the medicated elixirs usually contain potent and nauseous drugs like antibiotics, antihistaminics, antitussives, and sedatives. So the bitter and nauseous taste of these drugs is masked up to a certain limit due to presence of flavoring and sweetening agents in hydroalcoholic medium, so that it can easily be taken by the patients of children group. So due to presence of alcohol, few advantages are provided to the preparations like solubility of drug is enhanced, no chances of microbial growth are there, and no need of adding preservatives if alcohol quantity is more than 20%. So if pharmacists think that a particular dose can not be provided to the patient due to lack of drug solubility in syrups, so he can go forward for the formulation of elixir for the same drug. So non-medicated elixirs, they are supplied in bulk volumes, while medicated elixirs are supplied in small volumes, and also they are supplied in airtight and light resistant bottles and other containers bearing proper labels. So as such, labels of elixir should contain all requirements as discussed in syrups. But one most important point here is the amount of alcohol content which should be mentioned on the label. Next is dot. Drops are liquid or preparations of which only one or two large doses, usually 50 ml, are prescribed. So each dose is supplied in a separate bottle. So the medicament are given in the form of drops because they deteriorate rapidly and cannot be kept for a long time. So patients are advised to discard if it is not consumed within a required period. Usually expiry periods of drops is 1 or 2 days. So drops, they are liquid preparations meant for pediatrics. So generally vitamins and antibiotics are given in the form of drops. So they are supplied in a bottle with calibrated droppers. So drops contain potent drugs, hence measuring of dose should be done carefully. So drops are supplied in small volume containers 5 ml to 10 ml. So the label on the drops container must be all necessary requirements for liquid preparations. So the dose must be mentioned in drops, or if at all any dilution is necessary, the dilution ratio must be written on the label. Next we have is linctuses. So linctuses are viscous oral liquid preparations for relief of cough, and they contain high proportion of syrup. So very often glycerin is added into the formulation which provides sweet taste as well as demulcent effect on the mucous membrane of the throat. So it should be taken as such without dilution and must be sipped slowly so as to prolong the action of the drug. So usually dose of linctuses is 5 ml and it should be supplied in a multi-dose container so as to provide 15 to 20 doses together. So the label must contain all necessary requirements of liquid preparations. So students, this is all for the day. In next lecture we will discuss about the liniments